guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Ladywing Stitches Flosstube. My name is Zakiya, and I just forgot everything I was supposed to say. Just flew right out of my brain. Today is Wednesday, April the 10th, 2019. Okay, now I remember all of a sudden. And I didn't put my ring on. Anyway, not my wedding ring, people. Oof. I wear a ring on my middle finger. That just threw me off so bad. Okay, we're gonna pause because this is gonna throw me off if I don't go put it on. Ring is on the finger. I have no idea what I was saying. Intro, right. April the 10th, Wednesday morning. It's so sunny out. It's gonna be a great day. I'm excited. Right. Links. If I say I'll leave, a link or whatever, it'll be in the description box. The first link there is a link directly to this episode's show notes, which are on the blog for this Flosstube, which can easily be gotten to ladywingdesigns.blogspot.com. Yeah, all the projects that I show will have links in the show notes to their web pages and all that jazz, so you can see. Oh, that was what I wanted to say. If you're ever wondering, like, about what the project looked like before, I usually don't add those photos in to the video because I take the time to make sure that they're on the web pages on the blog. So if you're ever wondering why I don't do them, that's why. They're there for you guys to see. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to say for the intro. Whatever. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the February recap video. From the comments I was looking at, it seemed like people enjoyed it, so that's good. I was going somewhere with that. I lost it again. Yeah. That's what type of Wednesday I'm having, apparently. Okay, so let's jump. Oh, one other thing I did want to say. Welcome to anyone new that's watching. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And welcome back to any of my returning viewers. I think that was it now. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in to admin. It's April, so we're going to do March recap at the end of the video. That's kind of the first thing. That'll be at the end of this one. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I actually haven't checked. This is my third time trying to record this video now. So 960 subscribers. So we're really close. 40 more. Yeah, before I do something. And since I am going to be bringing the podcast back, hopefully before the end of April, since my knitting mojo is back and I'm knitting again, there will be a giveaway or something done on both podcasts. It'll probably be giveaways for both of them, but we'll see. I say that. We'll see. I haven't really even thought about it yet, so don't hold me to anything yet. But yeah, there will be something on both the Flosstube and the podcast because there's no way I would be almost at 1,000 without either one of them. So that's exciting. What else? Okay, and the other thing that I wanted to mention for admin, I posted about this, I think it was at the end of March, actually. I feel like it was sometime right at the end of March. I posted a photo on Instagram of my Stitch Mania plans for May. So if you're new to cross stitch, new to the community, whatever, and you don't know, Stitch Mania is an event. It has a group on Facebook, which is just Stitch Mania. I'll pop that across the bottom here. Yeah, so you can search that group, and I think you have to answer a couple questions. and they'll let you in the group. Yeah, I think so. It's just, to make sure you're a cross stitcher. I think most cross stitch groups have something like that now. Anyway, regardless, there's a Facebook group. Um, and the whole premise when it started was to celebrate May by going insane and starting 15 projects in 15 days, or a project for every day in May. Or it's 2019, so some people do 19 starts in 19 days. It doesn't really matter. And I think this is the 5th year they've done it. Will be my first Stitch Mania. Because I only started stitching last May anyway. And I had no idea about Mania then, so I didn't participate. But yeah, it's been going on for a while now, and it's definitely evolved into whatever the hell you want to do. Some people do whip mania and only work on whips. I am gonna do BAP mania, which I'll talk about in a second. Some people are doing monogamania. It's literally whatever you want to do. Yeah, make it your own. You're just supposed to have fun, If whatever the idea is seems crazy to you and kind of manic, I think it works. I think that's the whole point, mania. Yeah. So my plans for Stitch Mania, I'm calling it BAP Mania. I just have really been feeling the big projects. Yeah, I don't know why. I just have been. Um, yeah, and I started a new full coverage piece, which I'm gonna show. Babs have just been calling to my soul lately. So that's what I'm gonna do for May. But I'm not gonna be starting a ton of new things. So anyway, I'm gonna pop. Let's do this first. I'm gonna pop up the picture here. And so this picture's on my calendar. It's probably already up by now, so you'll be able to see that. You can kind of take a glance. But yeah, so this is not the picture that I posted on Instagram. If any of you are looking closely and actually looking at what's on there, it's not the same picture because I've already changed my plans. I added another new start. So originally it was going to be 7 projects, 4 days each, and I was going to split it 4 whips and 3 new starts. And then I added a new start, so it's still basically going to be the same thing. Out of those 8 projects, I'm going to alternate back and forth. So the 1st of May, I'll have a new start to, celebrate Mania starting and everything. And then it'll alternate new start, whip, etc. They'll each get 4 days each, except for the 8th project. It'll only have 3 days, but whatever. And then every day, so I started, we'll talk about this again in a second for whips, but I started back with quarter 2 challenge in the 90-day challenge in full coverage fanatics. So I'll have to work on Hogwarts Castle anyway, so that will get at least 30 minutes to an hour every day. And then I also put my temperature quilt pattern for that as well. And you can see they were written up there in the top left. But yeah, I'm going to try to work on those every day because Temp Sal I'm ridiculously behind on. So working on that a little bit each day will really help me to catch up, hopefully. Or at least not be as behind. I'm sorry in advance if you guys hear my stomach growl. I'm really hungry. I did this again yesterday. I did this yesterday too when I tried to record. Yesterday it was bad. I don't know what was going on, but apparently I really needed someone to talk to or my brain was going insane. The video is almost 2.5 hours long, and part of me was like, oh, they wanted tangents, give them tangents, and the other part of me was like, you don't even really have that much stuff to show. Why did it take you 2.5 hours? Well, I spent a whole hour. I couldn't talk. It was interesting. Yeah, but don't worry. Yeah, unfortunately it's already deleted, so no bloopers from that. I can never remember. Is this peppermint patty? I'm the worst. I swear I'm a Peanuts fan. I just don't bother remembering people's names. Anyway, someone will tell me. I know you will. This is one of the Peanuts mugs that they had at, was it at Target or were they at Walmart? It might have been both. I don't remember. But this one, I have 3 of them. This one has the character on that side, and the other side says it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I bought this mug specifically for the quote because the studio that I danced at in high school, we had 3 finale songs that finale everyone comes out at the end. Everyone comes back out on stage and we sing along with the song with some movements and then we wave and it's done, right? By that point, I was always so tired I didn't give a damn. um, plus, plus I was usually in the back actually, so except for like once or twice, I was actually kind of where people could see me. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, one of the finale, we rotate through 3. There are 3. I say we, but they rotate through 3 different finale songs, and one of them, which is like probably everyone's favorite, and it's definitely my favorite, I think. Um, the name of it is "It's Not How You Start, It's How You Finish." First of all, I can't remember the song. I can't remember the lyrics to the song, so that's dead. But I thought that this one, because I danced for them for 4 years, so I thought this song was the one that like I did the first and last year, because I would have repeated one. It wasn't. It was my other favorite one that we did. I don't even remember the third one now. Regardless, I picked up the mug because I wanted to take a sip, so just hold on a second. Okay, trying to, oh, that's how we got to this. I was talking about my stomach growling. Yeah, so I'm sorry if, you guys do hear a growl. Hopefully you won't. I'm gonna try to move a bit faster than yesterday so I can actually eat before my stomach consumes itself. Right, so Backmania. You guys saw the picture. I'll make sure it's in the show notes on the blog. I'm sure I'll talk about it again, too. Toward the end of April, more than likely, my plans will change again. Because, yeah, I'm super, super short on cash right now. Like, shorter than I ever usually am. So, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to buy all the fabrics for the stuff that I want to start, because some stuff I just, yeah, it's last minute stuff, you know. Um, one of the patterns yeah, there's a lot happening. So, yeah, but anyway, look out for that. If anyone wants to join in for specifically Backmania, I'm going to use the hashtag Backmania in 2019. Super simple. Um, what else was I going to, what was I about to say? Oh, and like they don't have to all be BAPs. Because I think 1 or 2 of mine that I have on there right now, like they aren't really what I would consider BAPs. So, you know, they don't have to be all BAPs. But I know a bunch of us love the giant projects, so why not celebrate them? Uh, yeah, but I didn't want to do like a bunch of new starts for BAPs either. So, perfect middle there. Alright, now that it's taken us way too long to do this admin, let's move on to some whips. So, we're gonna jump back in time. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so glad that third time's the charm, right? Because I don't want to have to do this again. I've had to talk about these projects too many times now. So, yeah. And I know a bunch of y'all are probably sitting there like, oh, you should have just like edited that one down yesterday. I truthfully did not feel like having to actually pay attention while I was editing and be like, oh, let's cut this out. This isn't important. Like, So I deleted it. We're moving on. Like, I'm just gonna re-record move faster and it'll be okay. So, works in progress. Let's jump back to the end of February. Um, Anyone who watches Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts, and if you don't watch her, you totally should, you'll know that she hosts Sunday High Tea, and that is the last Sunday of every month. It started as a way to, is like, you celebrate high tea by starting something big or something meaningful, or, you know, something that was kid only from Stash or whatever. So, you know, like with anything, you can kind of set it to what you want it to be for high tea. But anyway, so I had never participated in high tea before, so February was so far my first and only one. Um, oh, that might be fun. So anyway, um, okay, this is how I got into so many tangents yesterday. Regardless, Sunday high tea for February. I participated for the first time, and I started with the project that's in this bag. So let's talk about the project first, then we'll come back to the bag, I promise. So, I started Painted Wings. I don't know why I pulled the entire pack now. I started Painted Wings by Kathy Barrick. I was gifted this pattern by beautiful Michelle Bindi, and I'm super stoked that I finally got to start it. It was a great day. So it reads, painted wings that flutter high to touch the sun and kiss the sky. And then you can see it's the alphabet, continues down here. And I love that there was enough space to put and one. Like, none of the rest of the numbers, but there's enough for that. I love it. Plus, I love ampersands, the and sign, and that's a really nice fancy one. So, but yeah, so that's what the charted pattern looks like, and I'm using so the pattern was charted in silks, and but Kathy also included a DMC conversion. So I am using that DMC conversion that she gave. This fabric, it's not showing up correctly on here. It's more of a green vintage pear color. Honestly, it does look like what it's called. But it's a bit more of a green than the brown that it's showing up as on screen. Um, yeah, yeah. It's like the right shade, tone. I don't know the right word here. It's the wrong color. Does that make sense? Someone knows what I'm trying to say. Someone out there. Anyway, um, yeah, so not quite the right color on the fabric, but the fabric itself is 36 count vintage pear from Lakeside Linens. Okay, sorry. I was trying to get more dead space under the butterflies. Yeah, so this is what I have so far. Most of the words at the top, I still have more to do over here. I gotta finish up. And then there's a fourth line of butterflies down here. And so I have to put that on the stuff at the bottom. And then these butterflies that are over here are the exact same on the other side. So I keep having to remind myself that because I was super stoked because I was like, oh yeah, it's only going to take like half the fabric. And then I remembered this is not all of it, dude. Like I still have to come over. So the actual pattern itself, yes, will be on half the page. But once I add the extra border, it'll come over half. But I'm okay with that. It'll still be a decent piece of fabric to work with. So yeah, that is where I am on that. If you follow me on Instagram and kind of look at my posts every once in a while, you probably saw this back during March because I worked on it a lot. I was monogamous with this in March. This and the project that I worked on after it. When I was working on both of them, I was monogamous both times. So it was a very interesting month. Changes. Like I said, I'm using the called for floss. This is the called for fabric. Well, I'm using the called for DMCs, called for fabric. So I changed these letters right here, the initials, to LD for Ladywing Designs. And then it just took a little bit of finagling on the numbers, so I changed it to 2019. Yeah, and don't worry, my actual initials will still be shown off in this. Both the Z and the R at the bottom. So I'm going to pull a Michelle Bindi and switch them and put them in the, you can't really tell. Probably won't be able to tell at all because one of them's a green and my computer hates green anyway. But, oh, you can, okay, you can kind of tell that this outside yellow, and then there's like another color that's over in here. You can tell it's not quite the same color. It's a green that honestly kind of blends in with the fabric a little bit, but I wasn't going to change anything about this piece. Probably should have, but like, I'm not changing anything. I'm sticking with it, people. Plus I've used way too much of it now and I'm not ripping it out, so done deal. I don't even remember where I was going with that now. Dadgummit. Oh, the letters, my initials at the bottom. When I switch the Z and the R, I'm gonna use the yellow. I was thinking for a second there I might use the yellow or the green, but I'm gonna use the yellow because yellow is my favorite color. Yeah, so I'm really excited to pick this up again. Needle minder from here. This is part of retail therapy. You guys haven't seen this yet, or I haven't shown it off on the Flosstube. So this is from Stitchin' Button, and it's a little book, and it's got a spine and everything. I love it. Yeah, so it's Magical Creatures Volume 1, and there's a griffin on the front, and I love it. So that is Painted Wings. February high tea start. Super stoked about it. I worked on it for exactly 10 days in March, the first 10 days, and then I moved on to the next project. We're getting there. So I'm keeping Painted Wings in this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bag from Linda Jo at Pretty Southern. So it has the vinyl front. I don't remember what size bag this is. I think it's 11 by 13 maybe. That sounds right. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really remember. Honestly, I got it for the pattern. Elephants, of course, and I just love the bright colors that are in that fabric on the yellow. And it's all, like, it's a seamless fabric. Those, you know, I don't know how they pull this magic off. Says everyone else to me when I knit in front of them. LOL. It's just like a crafter thing, right? Generally not knowing how the hell people do what they do. And that's the inside fabric. So it's the same funness that's on the elephants. I love it so much. So, oh my goodness, I just broke my progress keeper. Fudge sickle. I almost said a lot of stuff. Oh dear. Alright, everything's fine. Thank goodness for that. Alright. So, yeah, so project bag from Linda Jo at Pretty Southern. Absolutely love it. So these, I guess I'll remember to show them to you now because they've already made a giant appearance. So, doofy doo. I won't show them because I haven't showed them on the podcast yet. The other things, there's a third one. But Bunny and Toot. I'll put it across the screen. Bunny and Toot. They make I'm pretty sure that they're yarn dyers too, because I got a mini. But anyway, I personally remember them for their little polymer clay stitch markers and charms. Charms, that's a better word, I guess you could say. Um, so these words. Okay, I signed up for a Gilmore Girls Mystery Charm Club. 3 months. You get different charms each month, right? So, I totally did not get the star until I recorded Friday because I'm slow AF. Star for Stars Hollow. Such an idiot. Uh, took me the longest time. That was the first one we got, and I swear the whole time I was like, what the fudge does that have to do with Gilmore Girls? It, it's only the part of the name of the town they're in. Anyway, and then there's a strawberry Pop-Tart, which every time, like, oh my gosh, and look at the sprinkles on this, guys. Is that not the perfect strawberry Pop-Tart? Every time I look at it, it makes me want one. Yeah, and there's a third one. I do have the third one, but I'm gonna save it. Actually, the yarn that's in there came with it. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna save it. Got to keep something new for the podcast, right? But yeah, so I love these. And that's a good note to mention for anyone that like loves these little danglies on their zippers to use as zipper pulls. If you find people that make polymer clay charms and like stitch markers and progress keepers for knitters, just get the ones with the lobster clasps like you see here, and then you can just change them out on your zippers. So that's a good something to do if you're a knitter too and you have a bunch of them that just kind of sit in a tin, because I do. Because I have so many. Okay, moving on. So Painted Wings happened, moved into March, worked on it a solid 10 days. And then, oh, did I say the bag was retail therapy from Linda Joe? It is. Anyway, um, so worked on that a solid 10 days, like literally through March the 10th. And then on the 11th, I got distracted and wanted a new start. So I wound up on Tilton Crafts. I didn't even buy anything because this was a freebie. So I will pop in a picture of what this pattern looks like when it's done, because it's a new start. You guys haven't seen it, and I'm working off of my computer. So this is Thanksgiving from Tilton Crafts. It was on their freebie page, so I didn't even have to pay for it. And it's a smaller BAP. It's only 9 pages, so but much smaller than Hogwarts Castle, which has 35. I'll take 9. Yeah, so, jeez, at least hold it up the right direction. Yeah, so it's small. It's a smaller BAP. It's 200 by 204. Only 9 pages. Yeah. So this is where I am. Excuse the craziness. I did a switcheroo of some projects last night, and I stole my Slytherin grime guard was on this, and I stole the grime guard. So I now have like threads flying everywhere because they're not being. Yeah, these needle minders are just kind of here to be pretty. Honestly, like most of the time, my threads are separated by being pulled and stuffed under the grime guard. I don't even. I swear, the needle minders are for my needles, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, so this is where I am on Thanksgiving. And I will move this one so that you can kind of see here. Hold on, I gotta get my arm in a good position here. And you can kind of see I started feathering over here in this block. So this is the edge of page 1, the right side edge. And this block right here that's done is 6 out of 8 for the vertical of the page. So I'm almost at the bottom, and I'm gonna feather across the bottom as well with this one because I don't want any page lines whatsoever. And on Hogwarts Castle, I don't know if you guys can ever really see it on screen, but in person you can see the page lines. And with the way that I'm working my pages, I can tell there are definite page lines. Um, there are definite page lines in both directions, like outlining the pages. So yeah, so I'm gonna feather on the bottom too. And if you for anyone that watches Michelle Bindi Stitchy on Josephine on the page she's doing now, you can see where she's feathering across the bottom. So it's the same exact idea as this feathering. It's just gonna be across the bottom. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, looking at my feathering. It's actually really fun to feather. I just love those little bumps sticking out. So yeah, this is Thanksgiving. This is where I am. This is 22 count Ada. We'll come back to that in a second. It's loops and threads. You can find it at Michael's. So I put quotes around Ada because Caroline, again, of Off the Grid Needle Arts, was talking about this. Someone was asking about they were talking about fabrics, and someone was asking about different things of Ada, I think. I'll stop holding this up for a second. Yeah, so no, we're all just kind of interested in, is this technically considered hardanger then, because it's 22 count? Or, like, is this actually an Ada? Or would it still just be hardanger? Like, I don't know. It definitely was crispy, Jesus Christ, crunchy, you know, like kind of a crunchy fabric like Ada is when I took it out of the packet. Like it definitely felt like Ada. Um, and I mean, it looks like Ada to me. So I don't, but you know, I've also never used hardanger, so I don't know how that looks at all. So I can't really compare there. But regardless, I love this fabric so much. And I look over there, like I've been over there in the Michael's fabric area like several times, and I'm truly wondering like if I ever noticed that there, or like I feel like this probably isn't like a super new fabric, but I don't know. So somebody let me know. Like, am I just slow and I just kept looking over it because it said 22 count? Because that's totally possible. Um, but yeah, anyway, so this is where I am with page one. The cornucopia is starting to come together, and I love it. I am working uh, stair step diagonal. There we go. With each 100 box, and then I'm not like looping, kind of snaking. There we go. I just go down, and then I'll come back up to here. Now I'm not gonna cross over into the next page. I'll come back to here, work down the next one, and do that until I'm done with the page, and then I'll move on. But I am loving it. I'm using all the called for DMCs. Like I said, 22 count Ada loops and threads. I got it from Michael's. This needle minder, the sheep, is from Sampling of Memories. These witch boots. This is a new needle minder, so Retail Therapy, from Stitch and Button Crafts, and that's the same place. I don't know if I said this for the Magical Creatures little book needle minder, but that's where I got that one too. They both came from Stitch and Button. I bought them at the same time. So that's where that came from. Okay, now I do want to show this since we're on Thanksgiving. This is where, hold on, this is where I'm holding my floss for Thanksgiving. So this is the newest awesomeness from Bags Plus, Karina at Bags Plus. You guys know Michelle Bendy is a distributor for her. So this is the Floss Buddy Flip, 45 pockets. So, and this pattern has 60, so the rest of them are in Hogwarts Castle. I just made some space for the other 15. Yeah, so awesome fall colors, right? So 45 slots on this, and then on the back it has a vinyl pocket, or Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is vinyl. But it has a pocket, so you can like put your pattern back here or what. Like, it's awesome. They make this is great for travel. As soon as I got mine, coincidentally, we were going on a trip that weekend, and that was when I had just like been at the beginning of painted wings. So I had stuck my pattern back here, and like I wrote out a little key for for the colors and stuff, so I don't have to keep flipping through the pattern. And I would stick all that back here, and like it was only 6 colors, so I had a few different small projects kind of in there. It's great for travel. You can just stick your pattern back here, flip it back and forth. So Floss Buddy Flip, I love it. They're awesome. I definitely want another one. And it's butterflies, if you hadn't seen that already. Because why wouldn't it be? Hello. Um, Yeah, and you can see this. I thought this was hilarious. So I was writing down all the colors that were on page 1 because I'm working off of my computer for this for some reason. Don't ask. It's a mystery. But I was like, okay, I'm going to write down all the colors that are on page 1. So writing them down, writing them down, writing them down, ran out of space. So I was like, okay, this is just the list of the floss. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the second one. Well, all of this was still page 1. And then I was just curious, so I counted. Well, it was 45 colors. And then I looked at how many colors the pattern said it had, and I was like, wait, there are only 15 colors left. So I just wrote them down on there too. So now I don't have to rewrite them for every page. I just have all the colors there, which is really helpful. Yeah, so that's what I'm holding the floss in for Thanksgiving. And if I ever get around to printing the pattern pages out, which I totally should do, I would keep them in that vinyl pocket part because that's super helpful. Okay, so apparently regardless, this is still going to be a long video, but that's what happens when I have so much to tell you guys about. Okay, so let's keep rolling. So I worked on Thanksgiving a ton, like pretty much the rest of the month, honestly. And then at the end of the month, at sometime around the last few days of the month, I kind of got really crappy about keeping up with my tracker those last few days. So great. But anyway, so this is more retail therapy. Oh yeah, the Floss Buddy Flip was also retail therapy. Can you guys tell that the whole wait until you show it to use it thing that's like not a thing for me. If it's here, I'm using it. And you guys just better hope that I remember to tell you I got it. That's why I write show notes. As I get my retail, which I don't know if other people do this, but this is really a good tip. And I used to do this, I do this even with the knitting podcast too. When you guys get stuff in the mail, like I know some people, they get stuff and they sit it like in a specific spot. I can't do that. I sit everything everywhere a lot of the times. So it would get buried. But what I do, I get it, I open it or whatever. Um, I usually open my stuff before I show it on here. And then I write it down. Like, I always pretty much have retail, like, I'll show you guys on here. Retail therapy is usually always somewhere near the top because I make a list of everything that I have. So as it comes in, I don't, like, forget anything. And that's why I also start using stuff because it's already open. I know I have to show it to you, so no point of just letting it sit, you know? But anyway, back to this. So I scored this amazing, amazing, amazing bag from Stitching the High Notes, Joanna. She is the beautiful, kind soul that really pushed me and inspired me to finally say, screw it, I am cross-stitching. Um, yeah, she kind of brought cross-stitching to my forefront. And then after she kind of got back to it and brought it back to her crafting routine, I was just like, yes, I have to. I want to do this. So sometime last year, she started Stitching the High Notes is the name of her podcast on YouTube if you want to go watch. She's great to watch. Um, and then she also made that the name of her business. So, and this is the fabric, Maker Fabric. Yeah, so she makes needlepoint and knitting, crochet, fiber, you know, project bags. She makes both. Yeah, and I got this one and the cream one, but I gave the cream one to my mom because she just loved it. And this was the one that I really wanted, was the gray fabric. So I'm really glad that I was able to get a bag out of this fabric while she could still find some, because I almost didn't. And I love this little, okay, her thing is stitching the high notes because she's an opera singer, by the way. So that this will make sense. It's a treble clef. I always, all 3 times that I've done this recording, I've forgotten to say that until I show the little uh, progress keeper. There we go. Zipper pull. I can never think of zipper pull. Too much of a knitter. Oh, here is, there you go. Here's her little logo. So stitching the high notes. I love this. It's a needle that makes the treble clef, needle and thread, and then yarn. Like, how awesome is that? Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, I'm gonna show you guys the rest of my pin collection later because I realized I've never shown any of them as I got them. I don't know why, I just haven't. And okay, not my entire pin collection, but like we'll get there. So anyway, this one is from Punky Pins, punky.pins on Instagram, I'm pretty sure. And it says resting stitch face. So I put it on this bag. But yeah, so love, love, love this bag. Go hit up Joanna's shop. She may not have, well, I don't know when her next update is. But I'll make sure her info is in the show notes for you guys. So in this bag, I am keeping ink circles well suited. The designer's ink circles project is well suited. This is what it looks like. Sorry for the glare. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic. Yeah, so I'm stitching this. It will be a total of 2.5 or 3 times. But the first time right now is a birthday present for my man. So I finally, I don't, no, I have showed this to you guys. Anyway, oh yeah. Okay, regardless. So I knew I was going to use black for all the outline stuff, and then I chose the red. I chose 817. Michelle, every time I think 817 now, I just think Love Red from that poem. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I chose 817 because I thought that was it looked a lot like the red, the bright red that's actually on playing cards. So I figured I'd use that, and then yesterday or a couple days ago, sometime recently, it's within the last couple days, I made my boyfriend pick the gold that he wanted. So and I was just gonna kind of like ravage through the stash that I had, and then if we couldn't find a gold, we were gonna go to Michael's, and I just let him pick one out. But I started with the golds that were in Thanksgiving, and I pulled 680 and 729 because I figured between one of them, like, because I know him pretty well. We've been dating for a year and a half now, so like, I know him pretty well, and I was like, I feel like one of these he's gonna like, and it's gonna look good with the pattern. Plus it's definitely darker than the one that they used in that. But the called for flosses for this are Valdani's, and the gold is a Krynic, so yeah, it's definitely darker than that, but we like it regardless. He decided to go with 680, so I love it. I'm stoked. So this project is on 32 count cream Belfast linen. Just ordered it off a 123 stitch from Zweigart. I'm pretty sure it's a Zweigart fabric. So, Jesus, cooperate. This is where I am on this pattern. And for those keen-eyed people, or just generally people that follow me on Instagram, it's not an accused snap. Yeah, well, actually, Never mind. You know this because last night I posted. Never mind. I forgot. See, it's not new to you guys anymore because I've already posted it on Instagram. Yesterday when I recorded, it was in a Q snap. So anyway, you guys will already know this by the time you see this if you have seen it on Instagram. But I took this out of the Q snap last night after I finished filling in the red and the gold for what I had done. So in the Q snap, you guys will recognize all of this down here. That's what I had in the Q snap. So I like to fill for these patterns because I seem to be finding a lot of them lately. I like to fill the whole thing with the outline color. So lately the color has been black, as with this one. And then I go back and I fill in the colors, just kind of as I need a break, or like these big motifs, I will not, or even these two, I will not let myself fill them in until they're all done. So like this one, this spade, you see like it's partially done. I'm not allowed to add gold in that at all. Um, until it's completely done. The outline is completely done because you just fill all of this in, so then it's mindless stitching because I don't have to, count or anything. So that's why, if you're wondering. Yeah, so like I said, the called for were fancy flosses, not doing that. I love my boyfriend, but I wouldn't even do it for me. Uh, so yeah, no. Um, so DMC black, 817, 680. I already showed you guys those. And I just love it. Look at how that gold looks, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. And then this top part, this corner was what I had done before. So when I finished filling in the red and the gold down here, when I took it out of the Q-snap, I just stitched these gold sections in hand so that I don't have to go back over there and fill in the gold. And I love it. And he loves it. I showed it to him when I took it out of the Q-snap yesterday, and which, I mean, he's been looking the whole time. Like, it's not a secret at all or anything. Um, but yeah, we're in love with it. So I'm super stoked. I'm also super jealous because uh, I won't be stitching this for me until the third time that I stitch it. Both of the first two times are basically going to benefit boyfriend. But whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, the other thing I was supposed to mention with this, a bunch of you have probably already heard of it by now, but this past weekend, the first weekend in April, was 24 hours of cross stitch. It's a hashtag on Instagram, hashtag 24 hours of cross stitch, if you want to go look at kind of what was going on with people's posts and stuff. It was hosted by Jen of the Corks and Stitches Flosstube. I don't watch her channel yet. She's on the list. So many people are. But yeah, that definitely has. Sorry, I'm adjusting. That definitely has like bumped her up a little bit higher on the list though. I'm really excited to get to her floss too, which not that I'm not excited to get to anyone's floss tube. I'm always excited, but you guys know what I mean. Super stoked now because I like really have incentive. So yeah, so 24 hours of cross stitch. I pledged 12. You could pledge whatever you want or not pledge, whatever. There's also a Facebook group of the same name if you guys want to join that. So I pledged 12 hours, and then the weekend it wasn't like as focused of a weekend as I wanted. Plus, I honestly completely forgot that the event was happening until like that morning when I saw someone talking about it on Instagram. So I didn't even like get proper sleep or take naps or anything like that before it started. So yeah, it didn't go that great. I think I got 5 or 6 hours. So I did okay. Yeah, and I still got a ton of progress. I was working on Well Suited the whole weekend for that. So, well, it was all weekend, but I worked on it the whole time. Those whole 6 hours. So that was really fun. They're talking about doing it again because a lot of people didn't know about it. A lot of people want to prep better the next time, as I do. Yeah, so go join the Facebook group, because I'm sure they'll post about it on there when something's about to happen. Go watch Jen's Flosstube, which I will definitely be doing, because I'm sure she'll mention it on there again. Yeah, it was fun though. It was really fun. They had a few different places where we could all kind of chat and connect. And I didn't get a ton of the stitching time in, but I got to talk to a few people, and the interactions are always nice. So, yeah, that's well suited. It was a nice. Oh, and then I also worked on it. This past weekend was the first Stitchathon for April, but I'll show you that later. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it because I actually posted a picture of the results. Okay, so next whip is Hogwarts Castle, of course. Did I talk about everything for Well Suited? I think I did. Yeah, so next is Hogwarts Castle. I'm just gonna fold this over for the sake of knowing that I'm not showing you guys the pattern. I mean, there's 35 pages, so if you can stitch it off of this, you're amazing. But, yeah, so just to make myself feel better, I'll flip it over. Oh, a needle is just casually sticking out. Whatever. So this is Hogwarts Castle from I Cross Stitch. I'm cutting my head off, but, you shouldn't be looking at me. So this is Hogwarts Castle from I Cross Stitch pattern on Etsy. You know it, you love it, hopefully you love it. As I mentioned earlier, I have picked this beauty back up for the Q2 90-day challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics, and that is a Facebook group if you don't know. So I'm gonna try to. Whose car is that? Anyway, sorry, there's stuff happening outside my window, and a garbage truck is. Are they leaf blowing? I don't. I don't know, but I feel like that's super loud, and you guys probably heard that commotion going by. So sorry about it, and hopefully it won't come back. But anyway, I picked this back up for the 90-day challenge, Q2. So far, I have not missed a day. I've gotten all 9 days so far. Yeah, so the goal of this challenge is just to pick a project, and because of the group, they only want full coverage projects, obviously. It's a very specific group. But you pick one of your projects, and you have to put at least one stitch into it every day for the 90 days, and technically it's 91 this quarter, but regardless. For every day of the challenge, you have to put in at least one stitch. So I am keeping up with this. I post weekly updates on my actual feed on Mondays, because that's the day we check in the challenge. And you can't join in now, it's too late. You had to start on April 1st, so it's too late to join in. So, what was I about to say though? Dadgummit. Oh, I make weekly posts on my actual feed on Instagram on Mondays. But if you want to see the daily progress of what I do every day, check my stories. And remember, I showed the highlights section on my profile, those little bubbles. I have one. There's one for Q1 and Q2. You'll see them. It says Q1, Q2, and I think the 90 part, you'll see it. And I take a picture every day and put it in my story, so that's there. But yeah, so I'm working on this page. It's coming along well so far. Also in Full Coverage Fanatics, every month they have the 1200 Stitches Challenge and the 2400 Stitches Challenge. Those are two different things. You can do one or both. Doesn't matter. And they have it kind of I see it as a loophole personally because I'm an overachiever, but kind of a little leeway there. You can do 1200, the 1200 challenge, complete it, and then count that as half of your 2400. I don't do that. Like I said, overachiever. Plus, I know I can get, really good progress is what I'm going for this year on this. So, I am making myself do a separate 2400. So that's 3600 stitches every month. Well, I'm super behind because I finished the 2400 stitches for February, but this page I started working on for the 1200 stitches for February. So I'm about halfway done with that now, or no, that's a lie. I'm almost 2/3 done with that now. I'm a little bit over 800. A little bit. Jesus Christ. I'm over 2/3 done. I can't do math today. Because I'm over 800 stitches now. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong project, but it doesn't matter. I'm really good progress. So, I'm mixing up all my projects because I'm counting on like every project I stitch on. Anyway, damn magical stitches, extra credits. Um, yeah, but I've got a big number. Like I'm getting really close to the 1200 for February. So that'll be good, and then I can move on. I think I'm gonna move over and work on this is page 11. I think I'm gonna work on it next and then jump back up to 5. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use this page. I'm gonna split it in half because a full page for me is right over 2400 stitches. So I'm gonna split this next page in half and do March and April 1200 stitches challenges, and then I'll come back and work through the full pages to get the 2400s done. Because for these challenges, if you get behind, when you come back, like Michelle even did this last year, I think. She came back and like, it was like late in the year, like September, October or something, but she had missed like March and April, etc. You have to go back and do them in order. And you just tag an admin. So it's April, but I'm still working on February because that's the only way you can do it. So and that only goes like for each challenge, like the 1200 and the 24, because they are two different things. So it's gonna happen, guys. Eventually, I'm gonna be caught up. So this is where I am on it. Called for DMC colors. Grime Guard from Silver Moon Sewing. 16 count white Ada. Just got it at Hobby Lobby. It's one of those giant 30 by 36 pieces of fabric. And then on my project, this needle minder is from Simply Serving HK. You can't really see it. There's a better picture on the blog, but it's the Hogwarts crest on a wax seal. It's a crest wax seal. There we go. And then, this other needle minder is, you can't really read it, but that's my Adventure Awaits needle minder, and you can get, it went with the Sal, the matte piece, if you guys remember that. You can get the pattern and the needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Okay, so that's what I wanted to mention for Hogwarts Castle. Okay, and then the last project. Okay, we're at an hour. We're doing okay. All right, it'll be like an hour and a half. I can deal with that way better than 2.5 hours, so progress. Plus it will upload easier and I don't have to worry about possibly splitting a video, so thank goodness. Okay. So, this is the newest project. So, remember I said I took Well Suited out of the Q-Snap. It was just time, like, I've been focusing on that project since the end of March, and I had already kind of decided when I picked it back up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of do the same thing that I did with Painted Wings, and like just and Thanksgiving, and just put some solid work into this until I get tired of it. And as I knew it would, I got tired of it because I just could not go back to filling in what I've deemed the swirly bullshit of the black, like stitching the black on that piece. And I don't mean that in a bad way because I love this pattern so much. Well Suited. We're still talking about Well Suited. I love the pattern, but for anyone that, like, if you go back and you look at the pictures of like me filling in the black before I started adding the color, you'll get what I mean. It's not all swirly bullshit, right? Some of the swirls on there are like spades. You know, you step back and it's like, oh shit, that's a spade. I get it. I did that a couple times. But yeah, while you're stitching it, it's just, you really have to pay attention because everything goes in, you know, it's very detailed, which I love, but after working on it for so many days, it does drain the mind. Yeah, I need to start hashtagging that project when I post now. Hashtag swirly bullshit. Me and Amy of Creativity by Gage, who's also on Flosstube, we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, and I literally called it swirly bullshit. That's where that started. Um, but yeah. Anyway, so like I said, I don't mean that in a bad way. I love it, but you guys know what I mean. When you were, especially like the rage, right, of finishing. Like you guys can see, I'm like barely over halfway in that project, or a little over halfway in that project, and like it's not like I was gonna be a finish last night, right? No, I was angrily stitching on that gold. Like, why is this taking so long? I want to move on to my next project because I already had it picked out and knew what I was moving. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's you guys get it. Okay, so anyway, I took Well Suited off of the Q Snap, and then I didn't, for this next project, I didn't want to work in the 8x8, so I rigged up an 8x11 Q Snap, and I love it. I've already decided, so I'll hold this up so you can see. Ignore this, I have extra fabric rolled up and it's wonky, but you can kind of see like the 8x11 shape. And I have seen other people do the 8x11, and I had wanted to do it, so I'm trying it and I love it. So this is what I'm going to do when I go back to Well Suited, because that other side will fit completely in here. Super stoked about that. So I won't have to move my Q snap because I'm really going to try. I'm going to pick it back up in a couple weeks at the end of April. Oof. Oof. Yeah. So anyway, I'm loving the 8x11 shape. So I decided to pick up Quotes to Live By because I actually, okay, if you have watched episode 25, which, okay, shout out to Sunshine Stitches. Oh my goodness. And no offense to Shelia when I say this, because we all love, love, love Shelia. But and episode 25 was not funny because Shelia wasn't there. Okay. But oh my goodness. That episode was hilarious, guys. If you need a good laugh, go watch episode 25 of the Sunshine Stitchers. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, okay. Let me explain what just happened in my head, because that's awesome was not a solid. Anyway, so before I started watching that video, when I put it in my watch later, I got the notification that they'd uploaded. I was like, oh, 25, that's nice. Like, I should make some joke about, like, hey, now you guys can, like, rent a car, blah, blah, blah. Um, yeah, yeah. It was a great episode, and honestly, that would have been a hilarious episode for them to have rented a car and, like, just drop. Oh my goodness. Okay, now my brain is, like, going off. Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall with those three when the camera's not running? I know they have such a good time. If you have that good of a time on camera, there's no telling how awesome. Yeah. Anyway, um, I'm just so far off on tangent now. But anyway, on episode 25, Carolina, I'm pretty sure it was her name. She was one of the guests they had on there. I don't watch her Flosstube, so yeah, I don't. Anyway, one of the guests that they had on there showed her finished quotes, and I just remembered how much I love this piece, and I had been thinking about bringing it back out anyway, plus I needed it for one of my Magical Stitches extra credits for the month, so here it is, bringing it back out. Yeah, I'll just tell you what I did. Like I said, before pictures on the blog, mostly the progress though is in like that top header part and then the borders. So the magical stitches that I'm using it for is an extra credit for March, April for book 3. And because Sirius Black and the Potter family, they were framed, or Sirius Black was framed, Because he was framed, you are supposed to work on frames, aka borders, on your projects, and specifically on those, yes. So anyone that's seen or has worked on quotes knows that there is a quadruple border around the entire thing. So I've picked this up, and I'm actually halfway to 500 now. So this line, this outer line was somewhere around here. I brought it all the way down, did all this swirly bullshit, only it didn't make my head hurt a crazy ton. Um, anyway, I brought this down, rounded the corner, came over and did all this. I just have like the tiniest little length of this thread left, but I just left it there because I couldn't keep going to finish it off. And I'm not gonna move my Q snap. Yeah, so then I came back up and whoops. Okay, let me scoot a little bit closer here so I can move closer so you guys can actually see what's happening. There we go. So then I came back up, or no, then I finished right down here. I had all of this done, and this is the end of this border on this side. The other three carry across, and this one doesn't. So I had all of this dark blue done up to here, and then there were a few empty spots of the light blue. That's two colors. There you go. You can see that. So these kind of last few sections of the light blue I had to do, and I filled those in. Came back up. My back stitch wasn't complete. This is the darker blue that's in this two color border. That's what color that is in the back stitch. So I brought my back stitch down, did this little corner, which I love. Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh my goodness, I love back stitching so much on this project. I'm super stoked. So anyway, I finished this thread out that I had. And I'm just not gonna add another one or anything because, like I said, this one continues across and I'm not moving the Q-snap. So now what I have to do, you can see up here, there's that second line on the border there, and those are two different colors. They're just slightly off in shade. So I have to finish that second border, bring it all the way down, and bring it over here as far as I can. And then hopefully I'll be really close to the 500. I don't know. I don't think that will get me all the way there because, backstitch, every two back stitches is one stitch. And I did count that way for this. What I would do, I counted each back stitch. So every time I make a back stitch, 1, 2, 3, etc. Right? And then I would get to like 20. And then I would get to 20 on my counter, add 10, right? Because 20 divided by 2, 10 full stitches. And then I would just start over. And I did it that way. Because obviously, like, if you stop back stitching and then keep going, like, unless you have a counting pin where you started back, which I didn't have when I was working on this, like, it's not, you can't remember. So that's how I counted those, if anyone's looking for a nice way to count backstitch. Yeah. So anyway, if I don't finish the 500 with that border, which I am thinking I won't, each part of Quotes to Live By had their own border. So that also that is also a frame. So which this is the plan anyway, after I catch the border up where it is, I am going to start working on, this is part 7. For anyone that stitched it or, has the pattern, whatever. This is part 7 down here in this corner, and I think I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna make it my goal to get as far as I can in that section, or maybe even finish it before I put this up. Because it's not too full coverage, and I like it. So yeah, this is the project that will be kind of my new small or not kinda, it will be my new small focus. For a week and a half, maybe the whole 2 weeks until I come back to Well Suited, who knows. And actually it probably won't be the whole 2 weeks. I'll probably just work on this 1 week, and then I thought about this last night, kind of a bit of plans. I think I will pick up my Mirabilia, Miss Solar Ellipse. So work on this for a week, then work on Solar Ellipse, and then go back to Well Suited. Because I don't want to work on this too long because it's coming back out for 4 days in Bathmania. So don't want to kill myself on it before then. I don't think it's possible because it's for me anyway. But you know, still. So yeah, this is an 11. So yeah, 8 here. I can kind of unfold this a little bit so you can see taller on that side, and I have the 8" on those two. I love this 8 by 11 size. Yeah. So this is an 11 by 11 grime guard though. This is the Slytherin one, obviously, that you keep saying from Silver Moon Sewing. And this needle minder, on the back it says needle attractions. I feel like I have looked for them at some point and I don't remember if I ever found a shop. But it's a sugar skull for Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, that I got off of one of the Alzheimer's sales that Michelle did last year. So yeah, that is close to live by. Super stoked about it. It's nice to have it back out. So, set that back up there. Okay, and that's all of the whips that I have to show you guys. Oh my gosh, I've got to stop skipping time. So, I'm going to try to get through the rest of the retail therapy as quick as I can. Because in addition to all the stuff that I'm already using, there was more stuff too. So, Stitch and Button Crafts, I showed you the 2 needle minders. She also, oh, never mind. Okay, I'll get there. So, excuse me. She also had grime guards, and look at this butterfly one. Like, yeah, exactly. You guys know it's butterflies. So, and this is an 11 by 11 inch grime guard. The only thing that I would have to suggest or kind of say about it, I love it. I love the pattern. And it's still very well made. The only suggestion I would have is to make it a little wider, so that you can tuck your fabric under. Because this one got here when I was about to start Painted Wings. And I was going to put this on that project, obviously, because it's butterflies. But it's not, you guys saw all the extra fabric and everything. But this grime guard is not wide enough to hold the extra fabric in there. So I haven't been able to use it yet just because all of my projects right now have giant pieces of fabric hanging off of them. But and I tried to put it on that last night because I knew the 11" Q-snap will work on an 8 by 11, and yeah, it works, but there's still just like you guys saw the giant bump. There's still just a little too much fabric for it to hold in there. But I do love it. I'm gonna purposely start a project that I don't have on extra fabric so I can use it. Because you guys know I couldn't leave it behind. I love this. These butterflies. And like I'm not usually into like this type of patterning and stuff. Like if this was on a project bag, I probably would be like, eh. Like I would be attracted because of the butterflies, but I'm not really into like the small motif, like smushed together and like repeated kind of thing. I don't know. I'm gonna say that. I say that. But this next grime guard. So Stitch and Button. Stitch and Button crafts. And then so I got that with the needle minders. And then Silver Moon Sewing, I ordered a couple things from her. So, and this is what I was talking about with the making it wider. Like you can, you guys can see it on here with both of these that I have. Like they're just wider so that it holds that extra fabric under, right? This side is weird because this like juts out, so it's not necessarily, anyway. But yeah, so Silver Moon Sewing. I got this, yes, it's upside down, so you guys can't even like see the animals correctly. So this is kind of another one of what I was talking about, like the small motifs just kind of like pushed in close together. Like if this was on a project bag, I would not have wanted it. And I love the patterning, I love the fabric. It's awesome. That's not my style. That's not how I am. So I would have been like, oh, let's keep moving on. But I love this. Something about it in the little Q snap on the Q snap is just awesome. So unicorns and birds and bunnies, and I love it. Um, yeah, flora y fauna. So, what was I about to say? Oh, this is a 8x8 Q snap grime guard. This was the one that was on Well Suited, if you guys recognize that. And then also from Silver Moon Sewing, excuse the crinkling, I saw that she had this piece of fabric, and it is showing up true to color, people. It is that freaking bright and that freaking awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah, so if you're new here, let me just give you a hint on some things. You want Zakiya to be game? Mention. I think this side is my favorite side. It has a few more of the like light blotchy areas. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for yet. Don't ask me. Oh, but what I was saying, if you want me to be game, yellow, especially like deep yellows, not really the pastels. Yellow, butterflies, Harry Potter, fall, autumn, Thanksgiving themed stuff. I'm there. Combine them. Just saying. So yeah, as soon as like guys, this is my favorite color. So I could not leave it behind. And I'm positive that pretty positive that this is a 28 count. And it looks like even weave. Yeah, yeah. It might even is this Monaco? It might even be Monaco. I'll pop it across the screen. I just don't remember right now. I have to check my Etsy purchases. Um, or actually, screw that. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Looked it up. Okay, first of all, remember when I was talking about the bag from Pretty Southern, I didn't know what size it was. I scrolled past it on Etsy. This is her size large. I didn't think to click on it to get the inch measurements, but this is her large project bag. I'm pretty sure it's 11 by 13. But it is the size large. And then this fabric, I was right, it's 28 count Monaco. I only have one other piece of 28 count Monaco. It was coffee tea dyed. It's the one that I have. I won that auction from Pedal Pusher Designs with the 4 and the whole kit and stuff. And Barbara dyed the coffee tea dyed the Monaco. That's the only reason I recognized. Yeah. I love the way that dyed Monaco looks though, the 28 count. Something about it is like the fabric is really nice. Um, like I don't know if you guys will be able to tell because it's through a camera, but I mean you can just kind of see the weave of that fabric like after it's been dyed. I love the way that the fabric is afterwards. I don't know. But regardless, I got this piece of fabric. And I think it's like a 13 by 18 or something like that. So I got that from Silver Moon Sewing. Okay. Almost done with retail therapy here because we're right at an hour and a half. So, okay. The next thing I got, or not the next thing, but next thing I'm showing you, is a new sleeve that I got from Love You More Studio. You guys know Bindi Stitchy is a rep. Plus, well, and not just through her. Sometimes I see their stuff through her when she reposts, and sometimes I see it on their page first because I do actually follow Love You More. But anyway, one week they did a nature week, and they had this butterfly sleeve, and you know I was not leaving that behind. And I love it because it kind of matches my floss buddy. Um, Even though it's not gonna be holding that project. I can't remember what I said I was gonna put in here. But anyway, yeah, and I think this is Midnight Flight. I think that's the name of the sleeve. Yeah, and I just got the standard size. I love it. Thinking about it now, I should have gotten the full size because then I would have been able to put painted wings in here. Damn. Like the whole pattern. Because Michelle said like the full page patterns. I think she was saying that'll fit in the full size sleeve. Darn. Oh well. I mean, it's fine. Um, I can still use it for projects. It's still gorgeous, but yeah, I love it. So I got that from Love You More. And then the last bit of retail therapy are my monthly subscriptions for Color and Cotton. Um, so I'll show you these threads first. I need to remember to go outside today and take my pictures for these. I forgot. I would have done that before I started, but I forgot. This is blank. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, I know from yesterday, you will not be able to see the true colors of these. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Hold on. No, I lied. I lied. This is like the truest one, and even it's off a little bit, and these two are just dead wrong. So, hopefully, when I go outside in the natural light to take pictures, hopefully they'll show up right. Hopefully. If anyone went to the show notes for the February recap and looked at that colored and cotton fabric I showed on there, when I went outside to try to take a better picture of it, it still didn't capture the color right. So hopefully that won't happen again today, so you guys can see these because they're awesome. So anyway, I got my floss for March from Color and Cotton. I get the all option, so she has brights, prims, and then, or any, that's what they call it, any. Like, you don't care which ones you get, it's just a mix, or, whatever. So I get the any, I get 3 flosses, which is $7.50 and $7.50 US. And I do mine every 2 months because I don't want to accumulate floss too fast, variegated floss, because I don't necessarily use it a ton. Yeah. So, and spoiler, this is now the only subscription I'm a part of. But anyway, so this one is clay. Hopefully I can pop some pictures in here of what they actually look like, if I can get a good picture. So this is clay, pink sands, and this is not showing up at all. Like, it's definitely got a pinkish hue to it, and it just blows out on screen. And cactus. And that's showing up, like, it looks like it's different shades of green, which you would think when you think cactus, but it is not. It is grays and browns, and me personally, I see like this interesting shade of like a blue. It's interesting. But yeah, it's not showing up at all. So I will figure out a way, whether it's outside or just on a white shirt or something, and I take a picture inside. I don't know. I will figure out a way to show you guys these colors. Also, I don't know who it is, and I don't know, because I don't remember who it is. I don't remember if they maybe watch my Flosstube or not, but whoever it is, someone also, and whoever it was, they get more floss than I do from Color and Cotton. But whoever it was, I just specifically remember them. They got cactus and pink sands also, and I remember them having such a hard time trying to show them off on theirs. And they are hard to show on screen, but they're gorgeous in person. They're gorgeous. So I don't know what I'm going to use these on yet, but I'm thinking that I might just do a full like Color and Cotton project. Like, eventually I'm going to have enough flosses to maybe like, just do a full fancy floss project. So that'll be nice. Because I don't really substitute them a lot in my other projects. So I need to use them at some point. Okay, last bit of retail therapy. Excuse the crinkling. This is my Color and Cotton fabric of the month. I get the 32 count linen, 1/8 of a yard, so that's 13 by 17 inches. And this I was getting every month. After I waited. So I actually waited until until I got my threads, because I thought I was going to stop the thread, because I really wanted to keep the fabric. This is not, I don't think that's showing up the right color. It is like kind of that paleness to it, but it's more of like a light bluish green kind of. The name of it is Pistachio. So like I said, I'll try to go outside and I'll try to get some type of picture so you guys can see the actual color of this, because it's not showing up correctly. So I'll stop holding it up. But yeah, so I was going to stop my floss subscription because I really want these fabrics so that I don't have to constantly buy fabric for new projects. I can have stuff, have a stash here. But because I'm just so broke right now, for the first time in my life, I have actually written out a freaking budget, guys. So, and I'm not ashamed to say that, like, yeah, I've just never really needed one before. But yeah, it is at that stage now. It is at that stage of broke. And the floss costed less than the fabric, and yeah, so I'm just gonna, do the floss instead. It'll be okay. Yeah, and like I said, I'm keeping the floss every 2 months, so that'll help me save too. Alright, that's it for retail therapy. Let's quickly go, and this time I really do mean quickly, haha, go through the March recap for 2019, because not a lot, from what I've shown you today, you can tell not a lot happened in March. Literally, when I worked on Painted Wings, I was monogamous. And then I switched to Thanksgiving, and I was monogamous. And then when I picked up Well Suited at the end of the month, those last couple days, like, I wasn't working on Thanksgiving anymore. Like, I'd put it down, so I was basically monogamous for a couple days, and then now I work on Hogwarts every day. So it's really nice because I've also been making sure that I get knitting time in every day or almost every day. And I have 3 different knitting projects that I'm kind of like rotating between. So you guys will notice that too if you follow me on Instagram. It's not a ton of knitting all the time, but I am, keeping that progress showing. Yeah. But anyway, so March 2019, here's the daily tracker for it, as always. Here I was trying to keep up with days that I'd stitched, and I put it on the wrong line. I was trying to write in for Thanksgiving. But anyway, and then this last line down here, we won't talk about it yet because I might start it in May, but I thought I was going to have a high tea new start, so I like highlighted the green and everything. Yeah, no, it didn't do that. Yeah, so Painted Wings, then I had a new start with Thanksgiving, and that was pretty much it. You can see I abandoned Hogwarts Castle the whole month. And I didn't have any page finishes on anything, and it was only that one new start. Yeah, and I didn't have any whip finishes either, so 0 finishes, and that one new start. Where are my show notes so that I can remember to talk about everything? Okay, so let me talk about Magical Stitches really quick. Month of March, I didn't do any of the weekly, pause, let me go back, I had to remember to do this yesterday too. If you're new, to my channel, to Flosstube, to Cross Stitch, whatever, if you don't know about, or if you're not new, and if you just don't know, but if you're not new to Flosstube or Instagram, like the Cross Stitch community, you have heard of it, if you're not new. Trust me. So School of Magical Stitches and Literature, that is the name of the Facebook group, which, by the way, if maybe you're not a Harry Potter fan or whatever, or maybe it just never occurred to you, I don't know, but if anyone's wondering where they got the name for this, like, why didn't they just name it, like, Giant Harry Potter? Obviously you can't because there's a Giant Harry Potter piece, but, like, why didn't they come up with, like, just some easier name to tell people that, hey, it's a Harry Potter thing. The full name of Hogwarts, the school in the series, the full name of Hogwarts is Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So that's where they got that idea. Instead of giving the school like a name or saying Hogwarts or whatever, they just took the school of blah 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 and changed that, which I super like. But yeah, magical stitches for short. So they give weekly homework prompts. I didn't do any of those for March. I completely took a break. I don't think I'm going to do any of those for April either. I might do some like towards the end of the month to get me back in the groove. Like I may do the last couple of those homework prompts just to get me back in the groove of, you know, being used to like having to stitch for that and have the deadline and stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty much not going to participate in the weekly homework for year 3, which sucks because it's my favorite book in this series. My favorite book / movie in the series. But anyway, so no weekly homeworks. I did, however, continue, which I am still doing now. I'm continuing to work on the year 3 extra credit and the yearly extra credit, the ultimate challenge, the one where you have to do 1,000 stitches on each one. Yeah, so I'm still working on those. So I'm still earning Slytherin some points for year 3, just not as many as I would have been, but that's okay. I just had to let something go for my sanity's sake, so I did. Yeah, so that's magical stitches. Not a lot to talk about there either. Stitchathon. March, I only participated in the first Stitchathon, so there you go. I apparently had a goal, and I got about halfway there. And then because I already showed this on Instagram anyway, but I was talking about Stitchathon this past weekend, so you can see with Well Suited. So when I counted all the stitches, it came out to 991, and I was like, screw that, I'm that close to another entry. So again, if you don't know, Stitchathons are weekend events from Friday evening to Sunday end of the day, your time. You stitch. You post your. Let's go back. Facebook group for this is Cross Stitch Finish Line. All of this will be in the show notes. They'll be linked. They have 2 Stitchathons every month. This month they're back-to-back weekends. I don't know if that was a mistake or if they did it purposefully to give people time to rest for Mania. Either way is fine. I think the Mania reason would be a good reason. But anyway, it's a weekend event. You go in the event, you post your before pictures that Friday, stitch all weekend, post the after on Monday. For every 500 stitches, you get an entry for the end of an entry, as in like for a drawing, for the end of the year. For a gift card that they do. So anyway, it's for every 500 stitches, and I was at 991. So I was like, let's pull something back out and do 9 more stitches. So I did. So I got to a solid 1,000 this past week. But anyway, that's April. So, but like I said, I mentioned it, so I might as well show you. And then the last thing, so that I can let you people go listen to someone else, is, I will mention this just because it's a part of the monthly recaps. In February's, I told you guys, haven't worked on temperature quilt. Still haven't, obviously, in March. So, still a no-show for right now. And honestly, that might not come out until the end of April or May. It will definitely be in May for Mania, but it might come out at the end of April. Maybe? Don't know. But anyway, the last thing is Stitch from Stash. Also another Facebook group. It will be linked in the show notes. In the show notes, not the description bar down below. So click that link to go to the show notes. Anyway, so this is all of March 2019 for Stitch from Stash. I just made, 1, 2, 3, 4 purchases? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was just 1 purchase for each day. So I just made 4 purchases. They actually were all pretty good except for those Etsy patterns. I bought a ton of them that day for some reason. I guess I just couldn't leave them behind. But anyway, yeah, so that did kind of hurt me a little bit. Plus, like, not having any finishes, I didn't, like, earn any credit back. But it's okay. We're gonna thrive. It's gonna be alright. So, just because I haven't done anything in April yet, here's where I am, kind of starting out. I'm at negative 62 after I add in the money for my new budget. And the other thing I wanted to mention mention about Stitch from Stash. Um, I told you guys I wrote out a budget. That $25 is on that budget. Like, it's legit. I'm gonna really be trying to stick to that now. Cause like I said, I'm broke. I probably could have lowered it to less than 25, but let's be real. I know me. Keeping it, like, it's kind of like give yourself an inch and teach yourself to not take the whole mile. So that's what I'm trying to do with that. Hopefully it'll work out right. I don't know really how I'm gonna work out the whole, oh, you finished something, like, here's money you earned. I don't know how I'm gonna figure that part out yet for myself, like, in real life, but I don't know. I might figure out something. I, I don't know. And maybe that'll even be down the line, because right now I do really need to be saving money. Yeah, but anyway, that's it. Oh man, I'm so glad. I'm definitely happier with this time than yesterday's time. It's a whole hour less. I can do this. So, and it'll still kind of be a movie. It'll still basically be a movie for you guys. It's almost 2 hours. So, you can even, like, oh my gosh, guys, you could pause it every once in a while and basically have commercial breaks, and it would take you a solid 2 hours. You're welcome. You're welcome. Except I'm saying this at the end, so maybe you have basically taken those commercial breaks, or maybe you didn't, and now you're cursing me out because you're like, really, you couldn't have put something about this at the beginning? I'm telling you now, I'm not gonna. So, sorry, not sorry. But next next time, or whenever you see, like, someone else's video, hashtag Jessie Marie. Um, that's actually a really good idea. Like, take your own commercial breaks. Oh, okay, that is actually a good leadway into this. I don't know if I will have it done when this video goes up, or if maybe I'll start it in May. I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking in a second. Um, yeah, I don't know when, but I'm thinking about monetizing the account, which means my videos would have ads. And I'm not gonna go, like, crazy or anything. I'm thinking for right now, I'm going to put them at the beginning of the video, and just the beginning. Um, so right now, I don't want it to seem, like, intrusive and all of a sudden or anything, so I don't want to, like, put them in the middle of the videos or anything. And I am a person, I know a lot of us do this, I add videos as my notifications pop up to my watch later playlist, and then I just, let the playlist play, and I'll stitch or do whatever I'm doing and listen and watch. And when ads are at the end, I kind of get ticked, like, if it's a person I watch all the way to the end, because, like, I just want it to go to the next person. I'm impatient. And, like, sometimes if there are ads at the end, then you have to sit through the ads or skip. I'm lazy, I know. So, long story long, at some point on the channel, I don't know when, there will probably be ads on the videos. They will definitely be at the beginning. I'll try not to make it, like, super obnoxious. I don't know how much control I have over these things. I literally have not even looked into this yet. But I've just been thinking about it, and like I said, every little bit of money helps right now because I need it. So they will be at the beginning. They may or may not be at the end of the videos. They for sure will not be in the middle of anything right now. Not that desperate. Which, words. Caroline of Off the Grid Needle Art, she recently has put ads in the middle of her videos to try to earn a little extra money. I am in no way calling her desperate or, or anything for money. That was not like a, a shot fired at her or anyone else. Yeah, I'm just saying I personally am not that desperate for money yet to make you guys have to deal with the ad in the middle. So, like I said, I know that sounds lot worse than I mean it, but not throwing shade at anybody. Yeah, so that's that. Hopefully that'll be chill for you guys and it won't be too annoying. I feel like the ads at the beginning of the videos nowadays, it's just kind of something everyone's used to on YouTube. So, you might not even notice because you guys watch so much Flosstube. But if you do notice, that's what's happening. So I hope that's not intrusive for anybody. And if it is, well, tough titty, because you're not paying my bills. Not yet. I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be such a small portion of the money I get. It's minimal, but every penny. Yeah. So anyway, let me stop rambling now. Yeah, I will talk to you guys hopefully I did good this time. It's been a week and a half. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I will be back to talk to you guys again. And until then, happy stitching. Bye, guys.